Every level of wealth explained in 10 minutes. Are you rich or poor compared to the rest of the world? There's a moment in life when you start wondering where you really stand. Some people struggle to afford food. Some carefully plan every purchase. Others invest, travel, and build businesses. And a very small number of people control wealth beyond imagination. Today, we're going to walk through every level of wealth. Not from extreme poverty to billionaires. And understand what life actually looks like at each stage. Because money doesn't just change what you buy. It changes your choices, your stress levels, your opportunities, and sometimes even your future. And by the end of this video, you might see your own financial situation in a completely different way. Extreme poverty. Extreme poverty is not just having little money. It's living in constant survival mode. The World Bank defines extreme poverty as living on less than $2.15 per day. That's less than what many people spend on coffee without thinking twice. But the real impact of extreme poverty isn't the number itself. It's what that number means in everyday life. Imagine waking up in the morning and not knowing whether you'll eat that day. Imagine walking miles just to collect water. And even then, the water might not be clean. In extreme poverty, things most people consider basic necessities become luxuries. Clean water, reliable food, healthcare, safe shelter. These are not guaranteed. In many regions, children grow up without access to proper education, which makes escaping poverty even harder. A single illness can destroy an entire family's financial stability. And something as simple as a broken tool or failed harvest can lead to months of hardship. Extreme poverty is like being stuck at the bottom of a deep well with no ladder. You can see the world above you, but getting there feels impossible. And yet, hundreds of millions of people still live in these conditions today. Poverty. Poverty is different from extreme poverty, but it still comes with daily struggles. At this level, basic needs might be partially met, but life remains uncertain. Think of it like playing Monopoly, where you start with no money. And instead of collecting 200 when you pass go, you receive a bill. In poverty, people often face difficult choices every single day. Do you pay for groceries or do you pay for electricity? Do you fix your car or do you pay rent? These decisions aren't occasional. They become part of everyday life. Poverty also looks different depending on where you live. In some high-income countries, what is considered middle class can start around a few $dozen per day per person, depending on cost of living. In others, that same amount could support an entire family. This is called relative poverty, when you have enough to survive, but not enough to participate fully in society. For example, a student might have food, clothing, and shelter, but no access to a computer or smartphone. While classmates collaborate online, that student is left behind. Poverty doesn't just limit income. It limits opportunities. Education becomes harder to access. Networking becomes difficult. Career growth becomes slower. And over time, poverty can turn into a cycle that's difficult to escape. Lower middle class. The lower middle class sits just above poverty and often feels like a constant balancing act. People in this group usually have stable jobs. They can pay their bills, afford groceries, and maintain a modest lifestyle. But there's little room for mistakes. A car breakdown, a medical expense, unexpected repairs. Any of these can disrupt finances quickly. Life at this level often involves careful planning. Budgets matter. Discounts matter. Sales matter. People in the lower middle class are often skilled at making the most of what they have. They might live in modest homes or apartments. They may drive reliable, older vehicles. Vacations are possible, but rare and carefully planned. There's stability, but not complete comfort. Still, this level often represents an important transition. It's where survival starts to turn into stability. Middle class. The middle class is often described as the financial comfort zone. At this level, people usually earn enough to cover basic needs and still have room for some extras. Dining out occasionally, taking vacations, buying new gadgets every few years. Life becomes less stressful compared to lower income levels. Jobs in this category often include teachers, office workers, nurses, and skilled professionals. There's stability, but not complete financial freedom. Middle-class households often plan for long-term goals, saving for education, buying a home, building retirement funds. However, major financial risks still exist. Job loss, economic downturns, unexpected expenses. These events can push middle-class families back into financial struggle. The middle class is comfortable, but not immune to financial pressure. Upper middle class. Upper middle class lifestyles are more comfortable and flexible. At this level, income is higher, and financial decisions become easier. People in this group often live in good neighborhoods. They send their children to strong schools. Vacations become more frequent. Careers in this group often include senior professionals, managers, or successful small business owners. Financial stress still exists, but it's less intense. Savings grow faster. Investments become more common. Long-term planning becomes easier. This level often represents the beginning of wealth building. People start thinking not just about earning money, but growing it. Affluent. Affluent individuals live comfortably with significant financial security. They own homes in desirable areas. They travel regularly. They invest in assets. At this level, money offers flexibility. People can choose careers they enjoy, rather than ones they simply need. Unexpected expenses become manageable. Affluent households often have diversified investments, stocks, real estate, businesses. Financial decisions shift from survival to strategy. Upper affluent lifestyles offer even greater freedom. Income levels allow for luxury travel, premium experiences, and high-end purchases. At this stage, wealth management becomes important. Financial advisors, investment strategies, tax planning. People in this group often focus on preserving and growing wealth. They may own multiple properties. They may invest in startups. They may support philanthropic causes. The mindset changes again. Money is no longer just about comfort. It becomes a tool for influence and long-term legacy. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, consider subscribing. We explore topics like psychology, money, and human behavior. And understanding these ideas can completely change how you see the world. Millionaire. Being a millionaire means having a net worth of at least $1 million. This doesn't always mean having $1 million in cash. It often includes homes, investments, businesses, and savings. Many millionaires live surprisingly normal lives. They focus on long-term investing and financial discipline. They prioritize growth over flashy spending. Millionaires often have the option to retire early, start businesses, or pursue passion projects. But lifestyle still depends heavily on location. $1 million in a small town might provide significant comfort. In expensive cities, it might not stretch as far. Still, being a millionaire usually provides financial security and flexibility. Multi-millionaire. Multi-millionaires operate at a different level. At this stage, wealth grows through investments, businesses, or large assets. Multiple homes, luxury travel, business ownership. Financial decisions become more strategic. Multi-millionaires often focus on wealth preservation, tax strategies, and long-term investments. They might invest in startups, venture capital, or global markets. Lifestyle becomes more flexible, and opportunities expand. Billionaire. Billionaires exist in a category of their own. $1 billion equals 1,000 million. To put that into perspective, if someone spent $1,000 every day, it would take nearly 3,000 years to spend $1 billion. Billionaires often own companies, control industries, and influence global markets. Their wealth isn't just about luxury. It's about scale, private jets, global businesses, major investments. But billionaire lifestyles also come with responsibilities. Managing companies, handling public attention, making large-scale decisions. At this level, money becomes power. From extreme poverty to billionaires, each level of wealth represents a completely different reality. Understanding these levels helps you see where you stand and where you might want to go. Because wealth isn't built overnight. It grows through decisions, habits, and long-term thinking. If this video gave you a new perspective, consider liking and subscribing for more content about psychology, money, and human behavior. And remember, no matter where you are today, every financial journey begins with understanding the path ahead.